because there is a... I think the what call it, the leap slam build also caused some problems with some of the skills on Valkyr and the operator. I think you need to do one of these, and then you can do this correctly with the correct range, otherwise it bugs out. Valkyr is a frame just like Rhino with a lot of bugs currently. Somehow Ember is the best one that actually survived the remake, because she's not buggy at all. I should name my account to Fire Ace, yeah. Honestly, I just stick fire on everything nowadays in Warframe, it's the best element. What the... Oh boy, that sucked big donkey dick, man. Have you ever seen the biggest donkey dicks in your life? These guys need to use a heavy attack, it's the only thing that even reaches them. What to call them, remakes? Because that's what it feels like, honestly, with Warframe. I never feel like any Warframe got a proper refresh. They're already outdated by 10 years. How many platinum is that? I think like 60? No date matters, I literally have nothing to buy. And that's not a joke, I literally have nothing to buy in Warframe. I can clean out the entire market, like the cosmetics, and of course half of them are terrible quality, so it's not even worth to buy them. And then you have the other problem. Did I proc my thing? Okay. Because the problem is, yesterday I was looking at some Riven mods from my Accelerata. Well, not my Accelerata, I don't create it. D made it and they don't know how to balance it. No! Remember, Reddit claims you can avoid those guys very easily, considering how wonky their hitboxes are, that I can't even hit them during an attack like that. Oh yeah, the entire Riven market. So I was trying to get an Accelerator Riven, and dude, it's like impossible. The only way you can get a good Accelerator Riven is if you compress the space on the mod, so you get like a viral, what call it? You get a viral mod, you know, like Toxin and Cold. And you either get status, crit chance. Usually crit chance is better because you cover up the crit chance, so you have higher fire rate and critical delay. Usually. And Accelerator honestly doesn't have ammo problems, and you also have space for the explosion primed Firestorm. It's not much, but it's something. That's literally the only way you can get it, so that you can shoot enemies, like for example a level 9900 Trax, and actually kill them within, let's say, 30 seconds. Which isn't much, because the Brahma can actually do it in 2 seconds. Or even 10. It's just like, you know, you have very little amount of ammo, that's why. The funny part about explosion weapons is that if you run the mat, they have the same kill time as... The Brahma has the same kill time as an Accelerata, with the amount of ammo that you need to dump on the enemy in level cap. But before that, the Accelerata, of course, is better. You know, it's better because... how can I explain this? It's better because, you know, you have more ammo, so you can use it more often. You can buy a shittier Riven mod for 10,000 platinum, and I'm like, what are you doing? Here's a Riven mod for 10,000 platinum for the Accelerata. Does it work? No, actually it reduces damage compared to a hammer shot. Good luck. Honestly, I just love a Warframe damage calculator because, oh my god. It turns out sometimes the Riven mods at like a couple of hundred platinum are much better than the several thousand ones. Because also I can't find the mods. I literally cannot find a mod, a Riven mod that has... Like 90% of the time, I literally cannot find a Riven mod that is Toxin and Cold together. I have no idea why. Yeah, no, that's the problem with Riven mods, 90% of the time. Because I know what's happening, a lot of people are like, Okay, I'm gonna say something that I don't think I agree with. People say always, it's usually better to get, Nourish, right? Nourish does a lot of work. Right? I mean, yeah, it's true, it's fine. No, like it is legitimate, the argument. But one of the reasons I see people go Nourish is because then they can be like, your Riven mod can be all damage, you don't need viral, you outsource it and get heat on the weapon. And I'm like, yeah, that's smart, except how do you manage the energy on the... Sorry, not the energy on the Warframe. But how do you manage the double dips? Because Roar, you don't get it anywhere else. Viral, you can get it on the weapon. If you get viral on the weapon, you're doubling your damage. If you don't get viral... If you get Roar with viral on the weapon instead of Nourish, you're already doubling the damage that's already there. You're like... You know, if you get viral on the weapon, 325% damage. times 2, that's 600. From the dip that's happening, you know, buy on the dip as they say. So, I still think Roar is a lot better than Nourish. By the simple virtue that you can't get Roar anywhere else. So there is that entire problem. That's what is honestly my opinion. So I think giving up 2 slot spaces for Viral is much better. I'm thinking of going back to Brahma and maybe buying another Riven Bond for it and opening up a space slot for something else, but I don't know what I'll do. Because then the entire critical delay happens, blah blah blah. Maybe crit chance with the damage. But then I don't know what kind of damage I'll get on the other components, because there's nothing that has crit multiplier and damage at the same time. Everything is green there. Yeah, that's why I go Roar every time. Because you don't get Roar anywhere else, you don't get the damage out of Roar anywhere else. You can get Nourish out of everything else, well not even Nourish, just what do you call it? Energy. Or HP management for somewhere else. Plus you can get Fire on the weapon. But you don't get Roar anywhere else. Plus if you get Roar, you're already scaling the other things much harder as well. Don't worry, knowing my luck, someone's gonna make a video and literally say these words by words. Any complaints about Ember on Reddit recently? I don't think so. Listen, it's like waves, you know, it comes and goes. I love all the debates people have. All the debates people have about Ember on Reddit. And I'm like, do you guys ever think about fixing the tie by any chance? Like her ass is broken, but no. Also, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Energy Nexus. I just love it on how they made like mods that are completely useless on certain Warframes. At least half the Warframes can't even use Energy Nexus because they have a channel skill that stops them from, you know, using it. Also, I think all these years later, Warframe still doesn't have build variety. Honestly, I don't think it does. Because there are always mods you pick up, you know, there'll always be mods you pick up. Like, for example, you have the strength mods. Like, if you pay attention, you don't have actually that many strength mods. Balance reason or not, it's kind of silly. Because sometimes I'm just looking at strength mods and I'm like, I literally don't have anything else to put. So I guess I'm just gonna put in Ogre, not Reach, what is it called? Ogre Strength, right? That one. Like it's only 24% strength and you know you have to put it because you can put in Intensify if you have Umbral Intensify. Which is so weird, Umbral Intensify is 44% strength. And I'm like, okay, then you have strength at 30%, like, what is happening here? Yeah, but you don't have a choice. It's the same thing with range, like you don't have a choice. It's the same with duration. Also, a lot of secondary stat mods are like very, very bad. You know what I mean? What the? Remember, Redditors are gonna be like, this is fine. Nullifiers are fine in 2025. Those guys are so scary for a melee character. God, I hate that. How do I change the Energy Nexus mod? I guess I don't change it, but I'll definitely make... You know what? There's a lot of mods I simply don't understand. Why don't they compress it? Like, they're so weak currently. Like, you know, what is it called? Efficiency, right? Efficiency mod? I don't feel like they have any place in Warframe currently. The either solution would be to compress Nexus energy with efficiency. Don't tell me they're gonna leave. Oh no. And then of course there's no Void Cascade, right? It finished. 52 seconds! There's a Void Cascade for the next 52 seconds. My PC is gonna take at least 52 seconds to load. So there's that. Falcone, please. It's gonna take me just 52 seconds to load, man. 10 seconds! You chose this perfectly, man. You chose this so perfectly. You couldn't have chosen the timing much more perfectly. And people are still spamming the Ember Prime look. Okay, guys. Honestly, this guy spent like 1,000 platinum just for the head. The Neutron, you say? Don't ask me why we're not in swimsuits going inside a mobile defense mission. Oh, I don't have the Prado, so I'm so much slower. See, there's gameplay in this game by mistake. Remember, the Eagle's mad for clipping. They literally nerf designs of Warframes to avoid clipping on the design of the frame, and then they just have this stupid thing that I'm wearing so I don't drown. There's no water around me. I don't want to drown in. I'm gonna drown in all this pussy.
This will only get more difficult.
Goss!
Get to a terminal.
Fuck you, Goss. You only run for yourself. You don't run for your team.
Location reached.
What kind of man are you?
Drop me in.
Oh yeah, by the way, isn't there like a mission objective by D? They're like, we're gonna reward you if you now use the Noodletron and defeat enemies in a mission. It's gonna take forever, but please do it. So we can post it on Facebook and say how cool you are and not even give you a platinum for it. And everybody on Reddit at one point was like, yeah, look at this, I'm using the Noodletron, it's gonna take forever, lol raffle. And I'm like, just use Ember? Subsume Warcry on Ember in her whatever slot you want. You buff your weapon with a lot of fire and that's it. What's the big deal? What's the difficulty curve here, man? You see, this is what happens when you're good at games like me. You don't get impressed by other people. Listen, not to be mean, but I'm the type of person who, you know, gets recommended sometimes videos from YouTube of people doing challenge runs in Dark Souls. And
Move on.
And I'm like, yeah. Can you beat Dark Souls by using a bow?
Get me in.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? You understand it's very difficult, is it?
Will take a moment.
Is it difficult to beat Dark Souls with a weapon that the developers purposefully put in the game? That is such a stupid question. Who even made this video and why do they deserve to go to prison? Can you beat Dark Souls with a dagger? Dagger, I barely met her, but also, yeah, it's a weapon inside the game. Can you beat Dark Souls with a fist weapon? Yes, you can. Oh my god. But you understand the damage is so low, so I'm gonna pretend every 5 minutes in the video as a professional Dark Souls streamer that I'm crying and I want to pull my hair out. Look at the damage, boys. Yo, boys, look at the damage. It's so low. And the damage is like maybe 50 less damage than the straight sword, you know? If the straight sword is doing, let's say, like 400 damage or something decent, the fist will like maybe 150. Sorry, well, 350 DPS. So it's equivalent, it's very equivalent. Unbelievable. Look how hard it was to play Dark Souls with a dagger. It took me like on average 10 seconds more to kill a boss. Oh no, it's such... Oh god. Oh no, I wanna die. I wanna Isekai'd myself. Yeah, please do, man. Yo, bro, can't say that! Really? Does your mom say that? Sorry, that's too far. That's what your dad said. How can you be this mean? What do you mean I'm mean? You literally are asking the stupidest questions in the world. Can you beat Dark Souls with a knife? Yes, you can. It's just gonna take a while. Or maybe not even a while. Because it's just them using the knife as if it's extra challenge. They're not even smart. They don't even apply like buffs on the knife so it does maximum elemental DPS on the enemy like insanely. They don't even do that. They just use the knife and they don't upgrade it, and then they do entire story. And then I had to suffer. I had to travel to Timbuktu, find the last traces of the empire that's been melted into ice in order to find like 2 upgrade materials and upgrade my knife, and then I could do more damage by 2. I'm like, you're not being funny, man. You're literally less funny than me. How is that possible? Listen, I'm the least funny guy out there. Okay? It's really impressive when Dark Souls streamers pretend the knife is really bad and they can't even do anything. How are you less funnier than me? How are you less funnier than me and you also don't know how to play the game? That is also an impressive combo. That is like a guy in a relationship, okay, that has a wife or a girlfriend. What is even the point of this deal, honestly? Like, what? It's like, you know, a guy who has a wife or a girlfriend and they don't contribute anything to the household. And all I can think about is, you know, that is honestly impressive. Your wife or girlfriend is the one that works, takes care of the kid, does everything. What do? You have an inferior job, you don't provide the down payment on the mortgage. You're not the one, you know, getting a proper deal on a lease on a car. What's the big deal here, man? What are you doing exactly with your life? You don't understand, I want to die. I had to wake up like at 10 in the morning today. On the weekend? No, any other day. Do you even work? Well, every other day I work. Listen, I'm not making fun of people who have jobs like that, but What do you bring exactly to the relationship, man? You're not even working every day.
Enter the holding area.
You don't have the full salary? No.
Sequence.
What do you mean you don't have the full salary? You see, I'm part-time. Oh, wow, okay, so you're giving the busboys a bad name out there. I can imagine I offend a lot of people. But that within itself is never the problem for me. The problem for me always has been the same thing. People who are like so unimpressive with what they do, you know, the way they talk, they're like, I'm suffering, bro. Every day I wake up and I suffer. Oh god, I don't have melee. I know I'm being mean, but honestly, you know, it's just like those people that bring nothing to a relationship. That's what I feel like about 90% of the challenge run content nowadays that are slop on YouTube. They're complete slop, they don't do anything. I don't understand them. Because they don't even teach you how to do something, you know, it's just a guy who plays Dark Souls, for example. I guess he never played any other games in his life, and he's so impressed with himself that he could play Dark Souls and somehow, quote-unquote, complete it by using a bow. Who am I talking about? I'm not gonna mention names, but if you watch challenge run videos, let's say Dark Souls stuff, you know, whatever.
This is unacceptable!
Really, old man, you don't say. Oh my god, you animals. Here, I'm gonna equip the Accelerator. What about Fallout? Oh man, the Fallout ones are even worse. Can you complete Fallout by not walking? So you can run? Yeah, you can run. Oh, okay. So what was the point of the video? Oh, yeah, okay, can you beat Fallout without moving? With what? Here's a bunch of cheats, here's a bunch of console commands I need to use. Okay, then what was the point of the video? You understand it's complicated. Is it complicated, Joe? Is it? Now shut the fuck up and suck my balls, man. That's the one thing I don't like about the Accelerated, I don't use it anymore. Honestly, can be honest, it's so petty, but it's a big deal for me. The sound. Absolutely hate the sound effect on the... It's so stupid. It's also wimpy. You know, it doesn't have the big dick presence of the Brahma. Honestly, I wish I could buy audio. Do we lost a checkpoint? I wish I could buy like an audio extension to the guns in the game. Also, yeah, the ammo is not a problem with the Accelerator. The Accelerator is actually another good weapon that survived the, the damage.
The enemy have taken a tower.
How? It just started doing the sounds now and we lost it? What you motherfuckers suddenly doing? Okay, I see how I'm gonna be. Look at this. We're attacking me. What is happening here? Who's the host that has such a bad PC that the game doesn't know what to do with it? We have 2 rounds of this bullshit. Are you serious? I'm already done, man. I'm so done with this. What happened to that popular content creator? Oh, the Korean guy that pretend to be Russian for some reason? I have also no idea. I think they massively slowed down making videos because apparently I think their videos are constantly getting what to call it, tagged by the copyright system because, you know, they use a lot of like yeah, like a lot of copyright stuff. So the Moonwalkers are here. Okay, what the fuck is going on? So anyways, I think that guy honestly, like, they couldn't deal with the YouTube. They occasionally release videos, but I think their videos nowadays are a lot less, like, quality than their other ones, and they're less funnier. The Vigilante... What is happening with the Moonwalkers? I think my favorite content creator was that guy that did Fallout 4 content. They're my favorite because, oh my god, apparently they had a very toxic personality, they kept on fighting with people. And the best part about it was they wouldn't make any follow-up videos in order to fix anything. You know, they could have milked YouTube really well if somebody in the for example, the comment section was like, hey dude, you forgot to do this. In order to get more damage out of your sword or something like that. They never took criticism well, and apparently they were toxic, and apparently 9% of the time they were drunk or something. So their like later videos back in the day, this was quite a few years ago, their latest video was something like, hey, you know, I need to take some time off in order to deal with my alcoholism and stuff like that. And not a week passes and there is a new video. And I was like, okay dude, don't lie, man. You know, you're going for the pity point so people notice you, ara. Like, you know, I don't think alcohol is the problem. I think you just are chronically ill at lying. Don't blame this on alcohol. Don't you love it when people have a toxic personality, they blame it on alcohol? Especially fault content creators. You're like, you don't understand, I'm a bad person because of alcohol. And now, my homies, please respect my life choices. I'm gonna go in detox. Not a week passes by, they upload a new Fault 4 video. And I'm like, you just lie. Like, you just lied. At the very least, you know, go the full mileage with it. Okay, listen. At the very least, no offense, at the very least, come on. At the very least, hug a dog. You know, be like, ah, poor dog, look at this. I'm an alcoholic, oh. Please forgive me for the things I say. Now here's my dog. I have a white Shih Tzu. White baby Shih Tzu. Forgive me, guys, for not making super serious content about Fallout 4 challenge runs. And I'm like, okay, sure. I don't care, man. At least don't come a week later and be like, hey, your new video is out. You're such a son of a bitch, man.
I've done my part. Now clean up this mess.
Okay, buddy, if you're not gonna help the team, what are you doing, honestly? That moment when kid mode did more damage. Don't you love it, people who just rush the mission because they know where to go and they can't kill the boss? What are you rushing for? I don't understand. And Nova is rushing a boss that doesn't get slowed down by her, I think. For what reason exactly? What are you accomplishing?
Must I do everything myself?
Yes, you must, trust me. I know your feelings, Heck. I agree with you, the 10 are a nuisance. Can we team up against the Nova at least? Where's the weak spot right now? I always forget that. And the Vauban thinks that's gonna help. Yeah, where's the weak spot? Yeah? Oh my god, don't... Okay, guys, can you do something? For some reason, Heck is always looking at me.
It should be a long time before we hear May Heck's ugly voice again. No cancer extraction. You've earned it.
So, okay, so there's a new attitude with Auto Nova players where they just rush the mission and they don't contribute anything to the team fight. Nova? Nova, no, no, stop, Nova. Nova, shut the... Nova, honestly, you're a registered loser in more ways than one. What did you contribute to the team? If you're so cool at running, you clearly have the weapons, then solo it. Some people are unbelievable, honestly. Back in my day, you know what they did to those people? We feathered them in the streets. Kind of a sucky weapon. Are there no good spears in the game? I don't understand. The spears have such a fancy animation and yet they refuses to give an actual good spear in the game that actually does damage or even the alternate fire works.
Oh yeah.
They're always so buggy. Yeah, this is nothing. Also, you think you can melee with a spear, right? You can't. How come the spears you can't, like, you know, do this? And then melee with them? Okay, sometimes apparently the spear doesn't work? Oh, I'm hitting them! Honestly, the spear should be like the... what call it? What the Warframe called? What's Warframe called? Dyslexic Seagull? What? What's Warframe called? Corvex! They should be like Corvex. You can throw 3 of them on the floor. And maybe they scale with status duration. And maybe they can have 10 meters area. On this, at the very least. This is definitely not... It could be 10 meters, I'm not sure. But I'm definitely sure it's not. Like I'm sure I'm not sure. Also, I feel like if I throw this, it should blow up in them. Also, the spears are like very weak in Warframe. The problem is we don't have proper primer with primary. I'd really enjoy that, but I guess we don't have it.
Hunter, you are running out of time.
Well, I'm not running, I'm walking. Revenant, you fool! You don't know how bad host migration is nowadays in Warframe. You're gonna lose everything 90% of the time. Ugh, unbelievable. People still have hopes for this game's host migration. I mean, typical Canadian way of thinking. You know, it's like buses in Canada. You point out to people, hey, your buses are not good and you're paying so much for them. If you go to certain countries, they have like golden furniture at the bus station and they have clean toilets and this and that. And then the other person is like, well, that's not as bad as our neighbors. I'm like, really? That's gonna be your excuse? Yeah, bro. How could you not understand? If you understood, you'd understand, but you don't understand, therefore you don't understand. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm stupid. I don't understand. If I understood, I wouldn't be here with you. Hey! Henry, Osirian, and Rog. What, like Asus? With their terrible customer service that barely works, and then they blame you if something breaks. But all the weird kids out there just buy Asus no matter what. And I'm like, don't you kids do something better with your lives? No, we can't. We're gonna buy Asus. Why do you need to buy Asus? You don't need to buy Asus. Yes, we do, old man. You just don't understand. Yeah, you're right, I don't understand that a bunch of teenagers need to buy Asus. For what reason? Is Asus your father? It's Asus, it's a good brand. Yeah, but they don't even honor like a 1-year warranty, man. But you don't understand, they're running the thin margins nowadays. Oh, really? How thin? Like your dick? Harassment? No, it isn't. You're the one harassing society for existing. Asus is that bad? Asus apparently has gotten a really bad reputation recently. I don't know what the fuck they did, I have no idea what the fuck Asus did, but whatever it did, apparently it really knocked some people's socks off on how bad they are nowadays. The problem is this. When you buy a product nowadays, you have to look at the warranty. Or should I say, okay, here's how grown-ups were back in the day. Unlike children nowadays. Grown-ups back in the day, it was very simple. You look at a product. If it has a long warranty, it means it's good, and you can guarantee those years, because otherwise why do you have a long warranty, you know? And so you picked up that product. It was kind of a thing that you did at 80% like efficiency. Like it was 80% guaranteed that that product was reliable. Nowadays it's not that easy. Because nowadays we have the problem where that product is just gonna have 1-year warranty and it's limited. Back in the day we had something known as lifetime warranty. Lifetime warranty was basically an item, you could replace it, fix it, all that kind of stuff, within not margin of error, but within that lifespan of the item that they have the part. That was the secret sauce. Remember, when you buy something that says lifetime guarantee, it doesn't have lifetime guarantee for your age. It's not 100 years, okay? It's not 100 years in the movie. No. But you had lifetime guarantees. It was for the lifespan of the item, like in terms of make or whatever you want to call it, you know. That's how things worked. And then we started having more standardized warranties. And warranties used to be like at least 4 years or 3. Nowadays you're lucky to get that on most items. Instead like fucking idiots we have, because millennials honestly did ruin everything. Millennials are kind of useless. The thing I love about millennials, the thing I love about them, is how they always make fun of boomers, and they're like, oh, boomers blame us, and now they're blaming us that the video game industry is dying. And I'm like, who's running the video game industry? Wasn't there recently a paper that came out, and people complaining, they're like, the new generation is not buying games, And then everybody else is like, yeah, look at this, the boomers are now blaming the kids for everything. And I'm like, what do you mean? Okay. I'm sorry. Boomers, okay, not all boomers, but the entire culture wars that happen about boomers and kids nowadays. Okay, let this sink in for a minute, like Titanic sunk, or those people's sex life, I guess. But let this sink in for a minute. Let this sink in, okay? Let this sink in, like just let it sink. Boomers blame the younger generation for avocado toast, not buying this, not doing that, not affording houses. Okay, whatever. What a bunch of idiots, yada yada yada. But now, people are still blaming the boomers when there's an article that comes out and it's like, did you know the current generation of kids cannot afford games and they don't have an employment rate of even 50%? And I'm like, I'm sorry, did you just blame boomers for kids nowadays not buying games? Are you serious? Are you guys actually stupid? What the fuck? The people complaining about boomers are the ones complaining about current generation not buying games and being unable to afford them. Like that's not the boomers' fault. That is you, Mr. Millennial. It's so funny. It's so funny for me. It's so funny. It's honestly like so fucking funny for me. The people that complain about boomers are now complaining about the younger generation of buying games. I'm like, dude, you can't do that. You can't complain about that. What do you mean I can't complain about that? Yes, we can. No, you can't. The boomers are not at fault here this time, okay? Well, you never know. What do you mean you never know? The entire video game industry is full of 6-year-old men? Like, what are we getting here? No, seriously. Come and spit in my butthole and explain what we're getting to here. Why are you blaming the old people that are 60, 70, 80? They're in a wheelchair, they can barely get up, then you get that prostate checked every 5 minutes. Why are you blaming them? This time for video games not selling, I don't understand. Are you guys actually mentally ill? I think people are also mentally ill. Too many microplastics in the water or something. Because how can you be so mentally ill as a millennial that blames the current generation for not being able to afford games by offloading the problem on the boomers? I don't understand. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. This doesn't work at all like this, man. Give it a fucking rest. You guys can't keep on blaming boomers for everything. Okay? You can't blame like 3 generations at this point backwards and be like, hey, you know, like they got an education or whatever. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about buying just games. You can't do that, man. There's a limit to everything and you're that limit. Maybe that's why your parents also had the limit with you. I'm so mean. But I found it so funny. I found it so funny that was a hill they were willing to die on. I'm like, dude, just shut up, please. Don't ever do that again. Like, don't talk on Reddit, honestly, out of your asshole. With the little, you know, that chibi avatar that Reddit has. That white space alien dude, whatever. You know, they always put that beard on him, the hipster beard. And I'm like, dude, please don't have an opinion. You have no right to have an opinion, honestly. Your opinions are wrong. Did you? No. Kids nowadays can't buy games. They're killing the video game industry, man. Yo, Mr. Millennial. You sounded like your parents, huh? Oh, well, no, you don't understand. I don't understand why kids nowadays can't afford games. Oh, really? Then why do you even bring that up? Well, I'm just saying. Oh, really? You're saying you have feelings? Your feelings are wrong, Mr. Millennial. Maybe learn how to write an actual movie next time. Aren't you guys the guys who literally killed Marvel? With your shitty writing constantly about everything? But kids are not buying our games! How can we live? How can we rent that one studio apartment for $2,000? Oh yeah, this is something I guess, yeah, I did read a few stupid things on Reddit. So on Reddit recently, there was an article that came out that was complaining about rents, as per usual. Touchy subject, I know. But 90% of the comments, especially on Canadian subreddits, were like, life sucks. You know, back in my 20s, I used to have roommates, and it was like, I would never wish that upon my worst enemy, even though it was a lifestyle, you know, like it was normal. Complain, but also I enjoyed it. And now in my 30s, I can't tolerate roommates. And all I could think was, I'm sorry, what did you expect? I think what I really love about some people is how socially unaware they are. Okay, so here's the thing. In my lifetime, I never had roommates, okay? I don't know anything about roommates. I know roommates are not like my animes, where you're like, I want a roommate. You get all these roommates that are useless and bad, and you chase them out, and then you're like, I'm gonna make payment this month. And then a hot, busty schoolgirl, not schoolgirl, I don't mean like under 18, I mean college, university level, comes here, and she's like, I want to rent this place because it's like so cheap and da. And you so noble and Why was that guy trying to hack inside an elite sanctuary? I guess that guy remembers something. His body remembers the pain. The pain of trapping the Tenno. His body went on autopilot. That guy's a very sad story, I'm pretty sure. By the way, if you think about it, all the Greenies got Isekai'd in this sanctuary, quote-unquote, right? Anyways, other than that funny moment right now where the guy was trying to hack a console. By the way, it's a corpus map. I'm very surprised the Greenier knew how to do that. See, there's some deep-ass lore here. And that guy's not Luigi. Okay, remember, they're not Luigi, they're Mario. Also, we have somebody who's a Viking SS. German, I see. Typical. But anyways, where was I? Okay, yeah, the Isekai thing. You know, I know in real life roommates are not anime. Okay, another guy is trying to hack. These guys have some trauma, or maybe it's the same guy reviving over and over again every time. But anyways, I think the thing about that article that really got me. Why am I constantly stuttering? Okay, a new guy just joined. I'm gonna guess the Serene or another Mirage, and now the game is lagging the entire time. Because apparently my PC cannot tolerate two Mirages at the same time. This is what happens when two black holes touch each other with a Serene. The game is like, what do I calculate, man? Okay, just stay there. Look away from the horrors of war as all these poor... we can hack. Maybe these guys are trying to get to 8, let's see. Assuming the game doesn't keep on stuttering because there's two Lonja Mirage. I forget what the name of the augment is called. Oh my god, this is what two Mirages can do to an old PC. Absolutely destroy it. Isn't that right, the... Okay, oh my god. Why is your cat full of rays? Oh my god, this is so annoying, man. Oh my god, is this the reason why sometimes the game like stutters really, really badly? Because there's two Mirages in these maps? I just realized it was a Mirage when this happens, but why? There's two Mirages. Oh, yeah, Nana, you're right. I need some tea. I need some green tea. Nene. Anyways. Oh my god. This is so annoying. It's so distracting, honestly. Stutter one more. Come on, you know you want stutter. Don't pretend you don't want stutter. What, the stutter is done? Did I cache? No, I didn't cache all the shaders. Hold on, it's still catching. It's like a check, you know, that bounces. You're trying to cache it. Anyways, the article was like, how many people nowadays are old and they still have roommates? And 90% of the... not 90%, but let's say half of the Redditors on Reddit, on that article, especially the Canadian ones, where like, you know, when you're 20 years old, you can tolerate your friends. You can tolerate them for being roommates, but as you get older and you're in your 30s, you can't anymore. And it's so sad that we live in a world where, you know, a 30-year-old guy or girl has to have a roommate, yada yada yada. And of course, I'm not a psychopath, so I know what a roommate is, even though I never had one. And I know in real life, roommates are not anime. They're not, you know, you're not gonna find a busty college girl that is gonna share a room with you in that one studio apartment, and romance is gonna bud, and both of you are gonna move in and maybe have children by mistake one day. And then the question is, where do you put the kid? In the bathroom? But that's my point, you know, I'm not a psychopath. Because here's the thing I don't understand. And I think, honestly, it's like so... The Luigi Mangione is not going? The problem was, all those people complaining about roommates, there's something I don't understand, okay? Maybe I'm very stupid, okay? Call me out if I'm very stupid, but okay, here's the thing. Let's say you have a decently sized apartment, okay? And you're sharing it with a roommate. And I don't know how many people out there watch the TV show Friends from back in the day, but half of them were roommates, right? There were at least 2 people sharing an apartment. I think in one case there were 3, and they had good paying jobs. So back in the 90s, people would still share roomies, like, you know. I mean, it was very normal, apparently. Okay, here's the thing. Let's say, for the sake of argument, there's 2 people only in an apartment, okay? There's 2 people. And by the way, with this recent article, there's an important point to make. Apparently, a good portion of the people who are paying 60% of their salary on renting, they are doing it because they don't want roommates, they want solo. Okay, they want to stay alone, like they want their privacy, they want their space. I don't know how they can complain about that. I don't think people seem to realize back in the day there was a philosophy where don't pay more than 25% of your rent, you know, of your salary as rent. Don't pay more than 25% maximum. Nowadays it's more like 50. Okay. But back then, when you're renting, you had roommates 90% of the time. That was the national statistic average. If like 90% of the people nowadays are like, I want to pay 50% of my currency, or my salary as a roomie, but without a roommate, you know, like by myself, it checks up. So inflation or no inflation, it adds up. It's clearly because a roommate is going to pay half. If you're paying 25%, your roommate pays the other 25% of their salary, right? I mean, of course, it depends on the job they have. It's not stupid. I don't know, maybe I'm stupid. Like I can be very stupid sometimes. But for me, it makes sense. You know, if, for example, if there's two teachers and they're renting a place and they have the same salary, for example, it's 25% each. It's 50% of their salary in total. Like you know what I mean? Like it checks out. The math checks out. It's not that bad. I mean, yeah, it's bad. People shouldn't pay 25% of their salary as rent. But within the national statistics, it checks out. But according to the article, people want their privacy, so they're paying up to 50% of their like salary on rent. Okay, that's what's happening. I mean, it's their choice. That is their choice. They can't really complain about this if they want their own privacy 100%. But also, here's the thing: if two people share the studio apartment. Let's say a decently sized studio apartment, it's not psychotically small like some of them are nowadays. Maybe you can actually complain about the quality of like renting nowadays. The places you rent are lower quality, which I totally understand. You know, complain about that instead, which I totally understand. But here's the thing. If two people rent an apartment, right, in their 20s, and then they become 30 years old and they can't deal with it, I don't know why it became a taboo subject, but okay. Maybe people are very lonely nowadays because they're doing it to themselves. I hope it's getting across what I'm trying to say here, because what I'm trying to say is there were two people in one apartment. Now there's one person in one apartment. There's an exponential growth of people that want their privacy in an apartment that doubles. I don't know, are people stupid? Did they not take math in school? Because in school we learned one thing: exponential growth. All those Redditors out there that like to make fun of Marvel movies, remember they made fun of Avengers, not Adventures. They made fun of Avengers, right? They're like, did you know Thanos is stupid because if he destroys a world, two things happen. Either the world gets destroyed, you know, 50%, people are depressed, they don't want to work, or the other thing happens where people keep on growing in the amount. People still have exponentially more babies over time. So I totally understand that. But the thing is, all those Redditors are making fun of this, you know? They're like, Thanos is stupid. Oh, he's so stupid, he's so baka. Can you believe how stupid Thanos is? I can't believe Thanos is this stupid. Oh, because look at Thanos, he killed 50% of the world, but then exponentially, you know, it's gonna catch up. It's just scientific, bro. Oh, but then explain to me why you guys are complaining about rent being in the same, like not in the same situation. You know what I mean? Like two people shared one apartment. That was two people in one place. Now people want one place for one place. Where do you get the one place from one place from? And then people are like, you make more houses. And I'm like, but houses won't fix that. That is overpopulation then. Remember all the way from the 90s, you fucking stupid millennials kept on saying, overpopulation is not a real thing. Or the boomers claimed it wasn't. Dude, what do you mean to say? I have no idea. Do you want to accept overpopulation was a thing? No. Okay. Do you want to accept that it was two people in one room first? No. Okay, then what do you want? I don't understand. You don't make any sense. You want your cake and to eviscerate it as well. That doesn't work out. Something gives. And then people are like, well, you see, businesses always want exponential growth. They want to keep on growing forever, bro. That's why business is bad. That is why corporations are evil. They want eternal growth. Yeah, but you want eternal housing. You guys, at your ripe old age of 30, were sharing rooms. Okay, at 20 you're sharing rooms with your friends. Now you realize you need to become an adult because otherwise no girl is ever gonna marry you. Not that they want to marry you in the first place, with your attitude being like that, motherfucker. But now you're gonna complain about that, and that's not even the funny part. Scooby snacks. That vote is very tasty. You want eternal housing. You want society out there. You want the world out there, like literally the world, the entirety of the world, especially in places like Canada and the US, to have cheap, affordable housing, but also to eternally, for the rest of our lives, build housing to house the ever-expanding population out there. I mean, forget about plummeting birth rates. For the rest of our lives, right? Because where do you want all your roommates to go to? If you have two people in one room, and then that one person wants privacy and they go to another room, that's two places now. It's not one anymore. Where do you want those people to go? They just disappear? They stop existing? Are you guys actually like fucking stupid? Man, Redditors are honestly like so fucking stupid. Which article was it? It was an article about like people are paying 50% of their salary on on rent. And then of course Redditors get involved and they're like, oh, you know this very expensive downtown apartment system? Yeah, two people pay 50%. And I'm like, yeah, because you're downtown. Also, back in the 90s, it was the same. Ow, I just hit myself. Even back in the 90s, it was the same thing. It's not unique now. You guys are just pretending it's unique to feel better about yourselves because you never got a real job in your life. And if you did get a real job, you don't, respect it. So you lost it. Wow, I'm getting like very serious. I'm sorry, there's nothing that pisses me off. There's nothing that pisses me off more than this. I don't mean this. There's nothing that pisses me off more than when people outright lie to themselves. Like, just be honest with yourself, just be honest, man. Be honest. Be honest that you're stupid. That at the ripe old age of 20, you never realize later on when you get older, you never realize that once you get older, okay, here's the important part. Once you get older, you did not realize getting old meant at the ripe old age of 30 you can't tolerate your roommates anymore, and that you want your own private place. And of course, if everybody wants their private place at 30, like, what do you want to happen? Prices are gonna go up, this is gonna go up, and you're gonna spend 50% of your salary on it. So, like, don't blame anybody for this. You can't blame this on boomers as well. It's you millennials, you guys let it happen. You guys were just lying to yourself. The millennials were just lying to themselves. They're like, yeah, everything is fine, man. I'm just 20. I still have all my life ahead of me. I'm not gonna think about once I, like, literally 10 years later, which is very short time frame, by the way. 10 years later, I don't want a roommate. And a wife. Or a husband. Yeah, but there are consequences. You don't understand. Our country is evil. Why is your country evil? Because short-term profits in our country. Dude, you guys were short-term rents. You guys were fine with rents the way they were in your age of 20 all the way to 30. Now's the problem because you spend 50% of your salary on a rent? Shut the fuck up. You're the problem. You don't understand. We're barely surviving. How? Oh, don't use that excuse. When people are doing financially well, everybody is like, yeah, we were barely surviving, man. You don't understand our situation. I'm like, okay. It's like Wall Street? Yeah, exactly. It's like the Wall Street thing. When people are like, oh, I can't take time off, otherwise, I have job problems, and you just let it happen every time there's an excuse. When people are well off, they're like, it's an excuse, and then over time, it's like, it's more the excuse, and I'm like, dude, at what point do we stop using it as an excuse? Like, grow up. You made your bed, now you sleep in it, okay? All the 20-year-old millennials out there that had I'm not gonna say an easy life, but that were constantly like having excuses for everything, and now they're 30, and they realize they need to grow up, and the rent is a problem. Please, just... Are you gonna come or no, man? Let me annoy the Roxy a little bit. But you made your bed, you made your problem, don't pretend now it's a bigger problem. You let it happen. You let the problem get bigger over time and don't do anything, You let the hole grow too much. But you don't understand, as a millennial, life is hard. Dude, now it's hard, back then it wasn't. Dude, shut the fuck up, man, don't pretend you're the victim here. I'm paying 50% of my salary as rent. Okay, you want your own privacy, you want this, you want that, man. Sorry, it just really tilted me. It really got to me on how stupid people are on Reddit. I don't know what their deal is on Reddit. I don't know how brain-rotted people are on Reddit. People cannot be this stupid on Reddit, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, people need to be smarter than this in life. You cannot be this socially unaware. Redditors, you guys cannot be this stupid, man. What's wrong with you guys, honestly? Is everybody mentally ill on that site? Could explain all the niche subreddits out there. How much do I pay? I'm not gonna say anything about that. It shouldn't be any concern to people what I do in my private thing. Like what my situation is in terms of housing. But that's not the point. That's not the point at all. The point is, how can people be so socially unaware? Is life fair? No. I know that. Trust me, I know that very well. But those motherfuckers specifically on Reddit cannot act surprised Pikachu face to such an extent and play the victim card. I think the real problem is recently I've been noticing a lot of people on Reddit playing the victim card with everything. And I think that's what's getting to me. Because for me, I'm like, you know, like, what are you guys doing? Why are you playing the victim card? I'm the victim! I have to pay rent! Down with the landlord! I'm like, okay, then do something? I don't mean start a revolution and hang people, I mean, like, you know, do something. Start something, change something, be the change that you want to be. No! It's too much work, I'm just gonna complain about it instead. I'm gonna blame everybody else for my problems. From 10 years ago, I made a bad decision of having roommates for 10 fucking years and they had the... dude, you don't even have a girlfriend, wife or husband. Shut the fuck up. You're not getting anything out of life. Why are you still complaining about that I'm 30 years old? I'm still living with roommates. It's so depressing. I don't have access to my bathroom. And I'm like, do you guys not eat fiber? And here's the thing. One of the complaints I saw, and this is the funny part, one of the complaints I saw on Reddit. What the fuck is this? Wow, the rigging on Warframe is getting worse every time. One of the complaints I saw on Reddit that I just loved were people complaining about how they have to share a bathroom. A bathroom! They have to share a bathroom with their roommate. And I'm like, dude, this is too much. You guys are mentally ill, honestly. You guys are not normal at all. How do you complain? I'm sorry, I have to say this. How can you guys complain, okay? How can you guys complain? Come and spit in my butthole, okay? Hapu. Spit on it. How can you guys come and complain that you need to share a bathroom with your roommate? If you have a wife or children, you're not gonna share the bathroom with them? Are you what? No, seriously, what the fuck, man? This is why sometimes I'm in a bad mood, you know? I wake up and the first thing I see on Reddit is like, roommates, I have to share. I'm 30 years old. I don't have a wife, girlfriend, husband, or boyfriend. What a sad life I have. I let it happen. I let all this happen, and I'm gonna complain about it on Reddit. Okay. And, by the way, one of the worst parts about being a roommate is that you have to share a bathroom. What? Do you eat your wife's shit? I don't understand. What the problem here is? Are you mentally ill? Are you actually mentally ill? You complain about sharing the bathroom with your roommates? What? Dude, honestly, that is too much. I've seen some shit in my life, like literally, and this is honestly too much. It's too much for me, it's too much. Those people belong to the gulags, that's all I know. That is like so abnormal. Do they think their spouse is not gonna have a butthole? Do they think their wife or boyfriend won't have a butthole? Like, what's going on here? And then they make jokes, you know? They're like, wow, let's go anal, baby. No pregnancies, wow. And then they make excuses, you know, with the saddest voice possible. They're like, yeah, we don't want kids because, you know, society nowadays is falling apart. And I'm like, really? Is that why you're puncturing holes in a condom? I'm giving them a beating, you have no idea. They need to get beaten, honestly, into a pulp. I think before I log off for today, other than me complaining about millennials not understanding the market forces because they never went to school, God, I just love that. All I could imagine is these people don't even understand how to eat fiber. I don't understand, do people not eat fiber? Like, they don't even have a salad? And of course, if you tell them to have a salad, you know, they're like, I can't have a salad, man, it's too expensive, I'm like, okay, dude, shut the fuck up, man. Go and throw yourself in a ditch at this point if you're gonna just complain about everything. Rent! It's so bad! I need to share a bathroom with my roommate. Okay. Dude, don't lie. Don't lie. There's at least a few thousand people out there that are complete losers that are hoping a good-looking guy or girl would enter their lives through a roommate system. And when they don't get that, they're like, life is terrible. I'm so sad. I'm 39 years old and I'm living with a roommate. I won't get any sex. Okay, what can I do, man? Don't complain about it. You made your bed 10 years ago because you thought it was fine. But I'm paying 50% because of my privacy. Okay, go and privatize yourself. Private equity boy. I need to share a bathroom. As if they're eating the shit or something. I need to share a bathroom with a roommate that doesn't have enough fiber. You don't understand. My roommate destroys the bathroom every day. Okay, talk about it, but they won't listen. Okay, then find another roommate or go to another roommate. It's not that hard. There's millions of people. Is it honestly that hard? Nobody likes millennials nowadays. They outstay their welcome in how much they complain about stuff and don't do anything about it. They're worse than their parents. I think I'm gonna get this one as a joke. Because you see she's a cat show, so there's fish around there. Actually, it's gonna be so funny if I do that. Hold on. It's gonna be like such a funny joke. Isn't there one where she does something with the claws? Like, ow, ow. Is it this one? Yeah, this one. Fish race, fish. Hey, what a stupid game, man. Poor babies. Which one do I have on you? I forgot.